I have with us the CEO, EI Sturdza. Eric, how would you describe the history, the philosophy and the goals of the organisation?
I started it in 1985 with 3 colleagues. It was extremely successful. After 3 years we started like a finance company. After 3 years we became a bank at my request. Then in 1995 we had basically to become shareholders of the bank. We got only a minority shareholding part. We got 30%, but we became partners of an excellent organization, which I liked very much, called ING. And we had a very successful partnership for 10 years. At what time I bought them out, the 70%. Then in 2005, this was. Then in 2008, we went to see the Federal Banking Commission in Switzerland, and we asked them whether we could create a second bank. They were surprised, because we were probably the only one who came to see them. It was a moment of big stress for all the large institutions. And for me, it was a major opportunity to actually be able to cherry pick the best people you could find. And this bank today is very successful. It's got 3 billion under management, a beautiful management team, and it's profitable. In 2012, we bought also another asset management company in Geneva, a very old one, called Georges, which is now part also of the group. So Georges Gutmans came with the idea that we should set up a company in Guernsey, which he did.
Let's bring in Georges Gutmans here. George.
EI Sturdza was set up with the purpose of providing institutional investors with top-class investment funds. EI Sturdza Strategic Management is a subsidiary of a Geneva-based private bank. Our strategy was to work on single manager long-only funds, mainly equity-oriented.
How would you describe your client base, George?
Our client base is principally institutional. As you know, funds, UCITS funds, in order to sell them in Europe, you have to register them in each and every country. We have done that. We have practically registered funds in every country in Europe. Our client base is diverse, mainly institutional. It is banks, it's pension funds, it's sovereign wealth funds, it's IFAs.
We have a view of our clients which might be different from other corporations. I look at things differently. I look at things, I think if the client's interests are met, and actually I don't see them as clients, I see them more, they become friends after some time. I want to have a sort of private club. We want to be associated because we have basically exactly the same interest. The interest is that we perform. The interest is that we are ethical, that they can look at us straight in our eyes. I think this is something vital. It has sometimes been forgotten, and that we try to do the things together.
And I may add, it's a blue chip list of institutional investors.
What do you believe makes you as an organisation different?
I think we are unique in the way we operate. We do not directly employ portfolio managers. We actually have a business model which consists of us taking the role of setting up funds, managing them, controlling them, marketing them, and entering into exclusive contracts with portfolio managers who are exceptionally have an exceptional track record and exceptional performance.
When you're employed, you walk up the stairs of your building and you not pick up the paper that lies on the floor. When it's your company, it's different. Someone who has a special talent, he doesn't want to have other people tell him what he has to do. Of course, he needs controls, he needs compliance, he needs audit, all these things. We provide them, but he has the freedom to do his investment process. I think we have a very appealing proposition here for outstanding portfolio managers.
So you see a kind of triangle. You have the funds in Dublin. The Guernsey company is the manager and the investment manager, and enters into an agreement with a portfolio management. We call him an investment advisor. A very key thing of that model is that the investment advisor owns his own company, his or her own company, and manages that company the way she or he wants to manage it. It's somebody who is has a long track record of being able to perform. I think we're dealing with extremely extraordinary individuals who each one has his own or her own investment strategy. I think that what they have in common is that they are basically very risk aware. They are they're striving for performance, but they will not take unnecessary risks.
Things like risk controls, compliance, the legal elements, are all those done at the investment advisor level, or do you control them centrally?
Well, we have the basic responsibility because we are the investment manager who bears the ultimate responsibility for managing the funds. In fact, I think it's a very important question you're asking. We've invested heavily in things like risk control, operational control. We work with, we outsource a lot of our functions to outside. Our main partner is HSBC, who they are our custodian and our administrator.
Forgive me, if you look at the range of funds that you offer, George, it might be described as quite eclectic. How do you decide what funds go into this range?
It is a combination of strategy and a combination of luck. Because you need a bit of luck to find the right investment advisor at the right moment, particularly as there are so few of them. And I think that is, you may call it a little bit eclectic. I mean, we do cover the US, we cover Europe, we cover China, we cover Japan. So from that point of view, you could say have just a few funds, but we cover quite a bit of the important investment universe.
And the fund range isn't closed. You're still looking, is that right?
We're constantly on the lookout for talent. I think we have built ourselves a reputation that we are people who are a good host or good partners to work with. We are long-term people. We do watch and we do not tolerate style drifts, for example.
Partnership seems to be a very important word for you.
It is key to the success of the business because a partnership is of course, on the one hand, it's a professional partnership. We have to do our job. The investment advisor has to do his job. But working closely together, you have to be attuned to the personalities of the investment advisor. And the challenge here is for us that we are dealing with not many partners, but very different partners, and from different cultures, different backgrounds. From Japan, Japanese is extremely, Uda-san is very different from Lillian Ko, for example, in Hong Kong, or from Willem Winke in London, and from EI Sturdza, my boss, who is also who's actually managing the US Momentum and Value Fund. So it is this long-term relationship building this mutual confidence.
And do you take that sense of partnership into your relationships with your clients?
I think we take it into the relationship with both our clients and with our staff. I think we live in a cutthroat world. I think in a struggle, of course, which becomes more and more ruthless, and treats. I think people are treated like disposable numbers. We're trying to maintain a philosophy of dealing with individuals. First of all, respect our clients.
But it all comes down to performance in the end. What would you say about performance of the funds overall?
We have been extremely fortunate that we are performing. We're at the top of the performance league, and that has been now recognized by an independent institution, and that is Lipper. And we have just received the award from Lipper as the best small equity manager in Europe. So this is, of course, something which makes us extremely happy. And this actually Lipper based their analysis on a 3-year track record.
Okay, George, sum it up for me then. How would you summarise EI Sturdza Strategic Management Limited?
The EI Sturdza strategic approach is to offer investors value added by giving them access to the best portfolio managers in the universe, and supported by a very robust operational organization.
If I was a pension fund manager, if I was a private client, which I am, by the way, it's the quality aspect which really would appeal to me.